it's a tough call. And yeah, it has to do with the state of the stock market. When will Americans regain their faith in the market? And I think we've seen very poor returns over 10 years. But let me remind you of some other countries. So in 1989, the Nikkei, Japanese Nikkei average was above 40,000. And today, it's below 10,000. Think of the 20-year compound return. Negative returns for 20 years. Okay, the U.S. stock market generally, if you look at different slices of history, you're going to see a positive return. We actually asked the CFOs what they think the return is going to be over and above the 10-year government bond rate over the next 10 years. And actually, I think they're pretty equipped to answer that question because we've also found that 75% of them need to know that for the evaluation of projects. Right? So they use a capital asset pricing model. They need to know what the risk premium is on the stock market. So they've got an answer. And that answer is about 3% right now. So 3% over and above a 10-year bond yield. So the total return for the next 10 years, let's say 5.5%. That's what CFOs believe. That's probably what the average investor is looking at. Will people bail the market totally? I doubt it. Some people attempt to market time, and that's unfortunate. And unless it's your full-time job, it's really hard to deal with all of the information and make decisions in real time. Other people can do that very successfully, but it's their full-time job. So I think that you will still see a lot of equity exposure. People are not changing their pension allocations to no equity. And you think, really, think about this. What is the alternative? Are you going to put your money in long-term government bonds right now with interest rates so low? That's just massively risky in terms of a long-term investment. So no stocks, no bonds, you're not left with much. Okay, so and actually a lot of firms have realized this and figured, well, what are we going to do? And one thing you can do is to buy real things. There's a lot of stuff that's out there, whether it's commodities or companies, things like that, things that can produce something real. Potash, right? Who would have thought of that? But it's in the news all the time, right? It's a big deal, but it's an example of kind of a real investment. So I think that eventually we will kind of regain some confidence in the market. However, the rough ride is not necessarily over for the U.S. stock market. If you look at valuations, there's still kind of a dark scenario here. We have had no growth over the last 5 years in terms of the economy. What's happening in the economy is reflected in the stock market.